YouTube, what the crap's going on? HeirofCarthage back, and we're going to go into another replay. This time it is going to be myself as Syracuse versus Carthage. So I've brought another hoplite line. Against Carthage, I feel pretty comfortable bringing hoplites. Libyan infantry are good, but they're not Rome good. They're definitely good units. But again, they're not quite as effective as Roman infantry, so I feel pretty safe with hoplites. And hoplites can hold Roman infantry for a very long time too, but I do believe that they would lose to the hoplites for the most part. I don't know that, but again, the hoplites are perfectly capable. And Carthage has some good hoplites too. For 650, the late Carthaginian hoplite is hard to beat for the value that you get there. It's really not bad. So let me show you my army. I've got my general in a picked hoplites, and then I've got, I want to say, yeah, it looks like I have 6 hoplites altogether. So that's going to be 5 thorax, or no, yeah, 5 thorax hoplites. My general's in a picked hoplite, which is an elite hoplite unit. I wanted to see how these guys do after seeing Royal Spartans be such beast. They're not quite as good as Royal Spartans, but whatever. And I've got Thurio spears, which are kind of a super heavy peltist unit, for lack of a better way to describe them. They're great in supporting a cav fight, great at holding off infantry, and they have long-range javelins. Just a great all-around unit for factions who can field them. My skirmishing component is made up of just standard archers, and it looks like I've got 5 of them, which is quite a few. No, 6. Yeah, I brought 6 archers because archers are a lot more strong, so I wanted to give this a shot. Now, my opponent has 3 mercenary Cretan archers, and I assure you that his 3 mercenary Cretan archers are quite capable of holding their own against my 6 standard archers, and the reason is their armor. 40 armor. My guys have 10. Plus, these guys have higher attack and reload, so high numbers of archers can be beaten down by high-quality skirmishers. There is a trade-off between the two. So yeah, in any case, you can see my opponent's going to fire some initial shots at my hoplites. He'll quickly change his target. And let's watch and see what my strategy kind of pans out at here. Obviously, I'm willing to engage his hoplites head-on, but my opponent is set up, and let me show you his army. So 4 Carthaginian hoplites, 3 Cretan archers, 4 Libyan infantry, general's bodyguard, late Libyan hoplite in the back, and then he's got a Carthaginian cav and a noble cav on that flank. And the only difference over here is he's also got a mercenary Iberian cav. So going to play. Again, I have no problem engaging his hoplites. It's a fight all win. But he does have a reserve line, and I don't know how he intends to use the reserve line. And check it out, 6 standard archers up against the Cretans. They have to get in range. One of my units is already wavering. This one's now starting to waver. The standard archers get killed so fast by Cretans that it will cause them to waver because they're losing the engagement so badly. So Cretans are, look how quick my archers just start to fall apart. Anyway, let's go into slow motion for a second. So I engage my opponent across the front. I've got a clear advantage in this engagement, though it is going to grind out. And then I have extra units left on the flanks. So I have a thorax hoplite ready to go after his Libyan infantry on both flanks. And then from a cav standpoint, I brought shot cavalry, and shot cavalry is best into the rear of enemy infantry. So I set up a screening maneuver here. So check this out. My Thurio spears are throwing javelins, keeping his horses at bay. And then I've got a citizen cav here and here, and I'm going to run through, smash his Iberian cav, and then swing around for a rear charge here. And the same thing here, Thurio spears throwing javelins to keep his cav pushed back, and then eventually I'll slip my cav and try and get around the back of his men over here. But we'll see how it pans out, whether or not I do it properly. But notice how I keep cavalry in reserve to protect my own back lines, and just try and keep his cav busy. Or actually, sorry, his Iberian cav went this way. I'm smashing into his Carthaginian cav here, which, to be honest, is an easy target for Hippias Lancers. Carthaginian cav's not bad for the price, but not meant for that type of fight. So again, see how he's trying to get his cav around my flank. Now watch this. Watch this. This is very important. This is a very important Rome 2 lesson that I've been trying to explain for a while and haven't gotten a whole lot of chances. So unbraced infantry versus shot cavalry. I'm charging into a fairly well-armored spear unit here with this late Libyan hoplite. 80 armor. It's a very capable anti-cav unit, and watch what happens when I charge them. Now, they're several ranks deep. This isn't even spread super thin, because there's a lot of super thin line spreaders out there right now because units last longer. Just watch this. Slow motion. Yeah. Okay, results of an unbraced infantry into... Yeah, just get a look at the carnage here. Take a look at this. Imagine if these guys were only 2 deep in their lines. So now I do make a mistake here. I charge them, which is completely intentional, but I forgot to give them a move through order, so they actually stay in that fight. But look at that. 20 men killed immediately, and then just watch the numbers go down. This is an anti-cav unit, mind you. Yeah. Down 30 men. Down 40 men. Yeah. So 40 kills against a spear unit. Anyway, let's look at the rest of the fight. I got a citizen cav behind his lines, and I'm managing to keep his cavalry distracted back here. My archer's already dead, so there's not a whole lot to defend. Carthaginian cav got killed badly, and then I'm able to push back his mercenary Cretan archers. All of my hoplites are in hoplite wall, but so are his, so this has turned into a long grind out. And his reserve line, some of it he's committed into the fight against my general, and then others he's chasing off my cav. He can't guard against it all, so I score a sweet rear charge onto those Libyan infantry, and that's going to knock them out of the fight. Over here again, I forgot about my Hippeus Lancer, but just look how many of those guys. I just killed 70 late Libyan hoplites in a frontal charge with Hippeus Lancers because they weren't braced. So the next time you go up against a player who's going to spread their lines out real thin, thinking that his spears are going to stop your cav, and to be honest, when they spread down into like 2 lines deep, it doesn't matter if they're braced or not. Your shot cavalry is going to destroy them. Don't stick around for the fight like I did there. Charge them, smash them, and then move on. And you'll end up leaving your opponent decimated. Now, don't charge those infantry if there's another cavalry unit nearby to pin you down, because then it's bad. Now, in the end, even though I smashed so many of his spearmen, this Hippeus Lancer was a waste, because killing 74 late Libyan hoplites is not a fair trade. So my opponent still got the better of that, but I'm just demonstrating the principle there, and it's the principle that's important. So he did rear charge my picked hoplites here with his Carthaginian noble cav. It's going to help. But it's he needs to cycle charge here. Against swordsmen, a single charge might work, but against spears, like especially elite spears like that, it will not work. And as my men start to become free, I'm just going to start bringing them over here. And then again, I've still got Citizen Cav back here harassing all of the skirmishers, so he's not getting good shots. And he's kind of panicking and taking his guys, more guys to blob into this fight trying to beat me, and it's just leaving him open for this kind of stuff right here. He should have braced his Libyans behind this fight to keep his men safe. And again, he left his noble cav here, and my picked hoplites are going to kill him. You really, really have to be careful about elite hoplite units. They are very strong now. And so the way to kill them is with cycle charges or, I guess, constant missile fire. Nice rear charge for my opponent here. Again, though, it looks like he's probably going to... Let's see if he cycles out. Yeah, he has not cycled out yet. He finally cycled this cav. Good move on his part. But some of his men were kind of in the way, and it wasn't as good a charge as it could be. And I'm going to reinforce with Thurio spears. Got another Hippeus Lancer here, just racking up kills. At this point, I have enough infantry to win the infantry fight, so that's why I'm not focusing as much as my cavalry. You can see I'm lining my men up for rear infantry charges, so it'll be from here and then into here. To complete the surrounding maneuver, I have some Thurio spears out here finishing off some late Libyan hoplites. And again, Hippeus Lancers mopping up mercenary Cretan archers. Yeah, here comes all the rear charges. We're going to completely surround the Carthaginian infantry. This will be enough to break them. Again, look at my picked hoplites over here, somewhere around here. Right here, with the capes. Those guys have been beasting it up in this fight. Frontal engagements against elite hoplites, again, is not recommended. Looks like I got my Hippeus Lancers running more charges over here. That was pretty brutal. Nice. Love those cav charges. Yeah, you can see the rest of this fight mopping up. The Carthaginians are trapped and having to fight from both sides. So hoplites are definitely a viable threat in this patch. It doesn't necessarily mean that they'll beat swords every time. They are capable of it in the right circumstances. The main reason I like hoplites is because they're a little more resilient. A little more. And again, it depends on the exact units that you're comparing. They tend to be more resilient than sword units against rear charges from cavalry, because of course they have a bonus versus cavalry. It doesn't mean that rear charges don't hurt them, because it does. And again, it doesn't mean that they're immune to it. It just usually means that there's probably more cycles that are involved. So you saw where I hit the late Libyan infantry from behind. Typically they were dying in that first charge. Whereas a hoplite unit, usually you probably have to cycle a couple of times. With Roman infantry, you're probably going to have to cycle a couple of times unless you get an extremely good charge. So just be patient with your cav. And you'll notice how in the last couple of battles, I've been prioritizing my shot cavalry against enemy infantry rather than in cav fights. Is it useful in cav fights? Sure, if you use it right, it's useful. It's just that you'll notice that my general strategy here has been focused on tricking an opponent in the cav fight. Again, everybody seems to always be focused, and this was advice I got from Belle that kind of changed my thinking here. She was mentioning to me, like, why do these players always go out on the flank and have a pointless cav engagement? That's a good point. Why do you go engage your cav on the flank the whole time when they're needed to support your infantry? And a lot of people say, well, it's because you're trying to win that fight and then bring your victorious cav in. Well, sure, that's okay. But, I mean, the whole bait and switch thing works good. And I'm probably in robot mode again, so let me get out of that screen. Yeah, so the whole bait and switch thing works good too. I wonder if this bug's still here. Or Easter egg, whatever it's called. No, they took it away. Used to, whenever you click the return to home screen a whole bunch, you'd like little elephant would pop up here. I guess they got rid of it. But yeah, in any case, so why take those pointless cav engagements with a quick bait and switch, especially since the battles last longer now. Even light cavalry can hold up enemy melee cav for a while. Because enemy melee cav is great in a grind out fight. That's what they're made for. And if shot cavalry doesn't get a good charge on them, and sometimes even if they do, it's hard for shot cavalry to kill them. So why risk your shot cavalry getting caught up in that type of engagement? Do a bait and switch. Use some infantry to do a screen. Get them into the back lines where they can affect the most damage on enemy infantry, which is where I think they're most useful. You can disagree with me, that's fine, and there's going to be cases where shot cavalry are great in a cav fight, i.e. cataphracts. They're going to be really good in a cav fight, and they're also going to be really good in rear charges. But in any case, hope you all enjoyed this. I will have more battles for you soon, of course. Heir of Carthage, signing off for now.